everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Elizabeth, your coach and guide on all things health, healing, nervous system wellness, embodiment, spiritual growth, and coming back home to yourself. And today we are diving into a topic that I know so many people wrestle with on both their healing journey and spiritual path, including myself at times when I've tried to manifest specific things that I wanted, which is the feeling of, why is this taking so long? Why do I feel ready, but nothing is happening? Why does it seem like what I want keeps getting delayed? And if you've ever been in that space, waiting for love, waiting for healing, waiting for clarity, waiting for the next chapter to begin for you, waiting for the breakthrough to come, this conversation is for you today, because divine timing sounds beautiful in theory until you're the one living in uncertainty, until you're the one asking questions like, is this really divine timing, or am I just stuck? So today we are going to talk about why delays can feel so frustrating, what spiritual teachings say about divine timing, lessons before alignment, energetic readiness, surrender versus avoidance, how nervous system healing affects receiving, and how to navigate this season with more trust and self-awareness. So with that said, let's dive into today's topic. So in part one, let's first discuss why divine timing feels so hard. Let's be honest, the hardest part of growth is often the in-between space, the space where something old is ending for us, but the new has not yet arrived. Maybe even the old you is dying and being transformed into the newer, upgraded version. And the mind hates uncertainty because uncertainty feels unsafe to the nervous system. The nervous system loves predictability. It loves clarity. It loves control. So when life feels delayed, the body often interprets that as danger, which can create a sense of anxiety, frustration, overthinking, grasping, emotional exhaustion, fear that something is wrong. And that's important because sometimes what we call impatience is actually nervous system discomfort with uncertainty. In part two, let's talk about delays that aren't always denial. One of the most painful assumptions that people can make is, if it hasn't happened yet, it must not be meant for me. And I've been there, believe me. But spiritually and emotionally, that isn't always true. Sometimes delay is preparation or integration. Sometimes delay is protection. Sometimes delay is clarity. Sometimes delay is redirection. And sometimes you're still becoming the version of yourself who can safely hold what you're asking for. That doesn't mean you're unworthy. It may mean there's still alignment happening for you internally. I know this was the same for myself as it is for everyone, especially when you're trying to manifest things like financial abundance, let's say. You often have to heal your nervous system dysregulation that you may have, heal any internal beliefs or blocks, and develop the energetic container to hold that kind of wealth without losing it later. I'm sure you've heard of those stories about people, say, winning the lottery or coming into a large sum of money somehow, only to lose it all days, weeks, or a few years later. They most likely never did the internal work ahead of time before receiving, and therefore couldn't hold what the universe blessed them with, at least not long term. The nervous system has to have the capacity to receive what it feels safe to hold. In part three, let's go over universal spiritual laws that support this. But let's explore this spiritually. Things like law of gestation, for example. This is one of the most relevant laws here because the law of gestation says everything has a natural incubation period. Seeds don't bloom instantly. Pregnancy has a timeline. Healing has a timeline. Growth unfolds in stages. And spiritually, manifestation, healing, relationships, business growth, transformation, all often require integration time. This reminds us not everything delayed is blocked. Some things are simply developing. And as much as us humans love our instant gratification, myself included, only spirit knows when we are ready in our process of evolution to receive our desires. Next, let's discuss the law of divine order. This teaches us that life unfolds according to a larger intelligence or sequence, meaning not everything arrives when we want it. Sometimes timing aligns around readiness, context, unseen variables, other lessons in our lives currently unfolding for our growth. And this doesn't mean passive waiting. It means trusting the process while staying engaged and taking the action needed to manifest that desire. After all, spirit isn't going to let you just sit around on your bum and not take any action and just expect that the universe is going to drop your desire in your lap. Action and faith always precede receiving. The law of correspondence is another. As within, so without. If internally you're feeling fearful, dysregulated, feeling deeply unworthy, unconsciously resistant, your outer reality may reflect those internal dynamics, not as punishment, but as feedback to what still requires awareness and healing first before you can move forward. In part 4, let's discuss lessons before alignment. This is where people often get frustrated, as I have in the past as well, because sometimes what feels like a block is actually a lesson for you. Examples like waiting for healthy love while still abandoning yourself in your daily life, wanting abundance while living in a scarcity mindset still, asking for peace while staying addicted to chaos, wanting divine support to come in for you while being hyper independent and unable to receive help from others. And this is not judgment, this is awareness, because often life isn't withholding, it's preparing you for the version that you need to be in order to receive. In part 5, let's go over energetic readiness. This concept gets misunderstood a lot because energetic readiness doesn't mean perfect vibration. It doesn't mean toxic positivity. It means, can your nervous system safely receive what you're asking for? So for example, someone says they want deeply aligned love in their life, but intimacy may feel terrifying for them. Or they say they want abundance, but safety feels tied to control. Or they want visibility, maybe in their content, for example, but being seen activates a sense of shame or feelings of vulnerability or unworthiness. That's not failure, that's nervous system information. And sometimes healing the capacity to receive matters as much, if not more so, than as a desire itself that you want. In part 6, let's go over surrender versus avoidance. This is such an important distinction. Spiritually, surrender gets romanticized, but surrender is not giving up, numbing out, doing nothing, spiritually bypassing, pretending you trust while actually avoiding action. True surrender says, I release obsessive or anxious control while staying aligned with my values. Avoidance says, I won't act because I'm scared. Surrender feels grounded, avoidance feels disconnected. Ask yourself, am I trusting I will receive in perfect timing, or am I hiding or feeling desperate? Trying to manifest anything from a feeling of being desperate or needy for it only repels the manifestation from materializing. So now let's look at Carl Jung's shadow work and divine timing. Carl Jung's teachings fit beautifully here because delays often activate shadow material. Things like a sense of impatience or fear or abandonment wounds or worthiness wounds or control patterns, perfectionism, and sometimes what the waiting period reveals is the deeper healing needed. He taught what remains unconscious shapes our lives. So sometimes the delay isn't the problem, the delay is the mirror for you. Let's next talk about Edgar Cayce and soul growth. Edgar Cayce often spoke about soul development and lessons through experience. That life isn't random, that certain experiences you have may support deeper growth, awareness, and spiritual evolution for you. So from that lens, not every delay is punishment. Some seasons may be refining things like your faith, your discernment, your patience, your self-worth, your readiness, and trust. Again, not passive suffering, but conscious becoming. So, how to navigate this season? If you're in a season of waiting, a few supportive reminders are to work on regulating your nervous system. Uncertainty can trigger survival mode, and you can't manifest anything from that state. Support your body through things like breath work, grounding walks, movement, daily sunlight, keeping hydrated, nourishing foods, and removing life stressors as much as possible. Focus on who you're becoming. Instead of when will it happen, ask, who am I becoming here? Notice control patterns. Where are you gripping, obsessing, trying to force timing? Awareness matters here, and address accordingly to help you surrender. Stay in aligned action, because trust doesn't mean paralysis or inaction, as mentioned previously. Keep moving where it feels true to take the next aligned step for you, even if it's only one small step forward each day. Practice receiving now in your daily life, receiving things like support from others, rest when needed, love, joy, accepting help. Receiving is a skill and a feminine energy that we all have. It's just that a lot of us have been operating more so in our masculine energy in recent years of doing and productivity because of life's daily stress and responsibilities. We need to get our energies back into a state of balance. What's the bigger message in all of this? If life feels delayed right now, please hear this. A delay does not mean rejection. A pause does not mean failure. And uncertainty does not mean you're off path. Sometimes the waiting season is where nervous system healing happens, where your sense of self-worth can deepen, where clarity emerges for you, where capacity to receive expands, where integration of lessons happens. And eventually, what once felt like frustration then becomes understanding. When you get to a place of true alignment in who you are at your core level and how you live your daily life, your manifestations will eventually become quicker to call in for you. But don't forget to ask. And just as an example of a small, silly thing of how instant a manifestation can happen from my personal experience, I'll just share this with you. For example, I was in the city one day going to see a show in a happy, excited state of mind, because don't forget, a positive mindset and energetic state is important in this and manifestation. It was a cold day out. I had to walk quite a bit to get to where I was going, turning down side streets, and one that happened to be a little bit on the darker side with, I don't think, any cars that had driven down it at the time when I was walking. And I asked Spirit to please send me a cab. I was partly laughing to myself, not really expecting anything to come of it, but I figured I'd give it a shot, though I should have fully trusted that it would come. And what do you know, not even a minute later, I'd say, a taxi comes driving past and pulls over to the side of the road ahead, letting the passengers that were in it out, and I hopped in to get to my destination. Silly, I know, but I asked and then I received literally moments later. You may call it a coincidence, but as they say, there are no coincidences, only divine synchronicities. And don't forget to offer your gratitude to Spirit when they do arrive, because even with the small ones, when you appreciate what you've been given, you will always be given more by Spirit. So if you're in a season where life feels uncertain for you, where what you want feels delayed, where trust feels hard right now, please know I get it. I have felt the same way, and we've all been there. But you are not behind, you are not forgotten, and this chapter may be shaping you in ways that you can't fully see yet, but I'm sure you will someday soon. If this is work that you're moving through, then my sacred self-love and nervous system healing guide that's linked below for you, and all of the other offers that I have, are designed to help you create safety, trust yourself more, and deeply navigate these seasons with greater clarity. Everything is linked below for you, and I'd love to hear from you. What is an area of your life that you're currently being asked to trust in the process? If you want to see more content like this, then let me know in the comments below. If this video resonated with you today, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who might also need this reminder. I appreciate the time that you take to be here each week and your support in helping the channel grow more so that more people can find the support that they need. This is your weekly reminder to do something today that brings you joy. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.